and welcome to the Hall Prison Universe. I'm King HP, also known as Father, and Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I hope it turned out well for everyone, okay? So if you were with us last year, continue to rock with us. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe right there, click the notification bell, and this way, anytime we drop a video, you'll be able to get the notification and you'll see it, and we can link up that way. But let's get into things, okay? One, we are still having our giveaway, right? Our Stormbreaker giveaway, right? And that's awesome. So if that interests you, stick around to the end of the video. At the end of the video, we'll go through the details of how to win, right? And what you have to do to enter. So with that being said, it is 2022. So again, Happy New Year. But let's talk about 2021, all right? 2021, we saw some of the best Marvel that we've seen to date. I mean, one can argue, right? We saw the rise of the DisneyPlus shows, all right? So we're going to recap 2021 with a top 25 moments from the MCU. So my question is, what were your top best moments? What was it for you? So go ahead and leave those down in the comments below, and we might even have to do another video to kind of discuss some of those things. But let's get into the top MCU moments, all right? So let's discuss what went into 2021, right? We had WandaVision. We had Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We had Loki, What If, and the Hawkeye series, right? That was all Disney Plus. So this year, MCU alone, you had those 5 shows. Now, let's talk about movies. You had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Venom, right? So let's go ahead and give the spoiler warning now. If you have not seen all those things, we're going to talk about them all at some point. So please, spoiler warning, if you have not seen Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Venom, Spider-Man, No Way Home, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, or Hawkeye. Whew, that's a lot. All right, so let's get into top moments, right? So what do we have as 25? We'll start at the bottom of the list and we'll work our way forward. Number 25, we're gonna go with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, opening things up with a big one, the Power Broker. Okay, who was the Power Broker? It turned out to be Sharon Carter. So that throws everything for a loop, right? Because what we've come to find out is Sharon Carter was on the run during the years with the blip, and now she's back in the good graces of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the United States, right? But where does that leave her position? Because we find out she was the one that was kind of running Madripoor, or if she wasn't the one running it, it was appearing as such, right? Like everybody worked for Madripoor, or everybody in Madripoor worked for the Power Broker, okay? You had Selby, I don't know if you remember her. That was who Falcon and Winter Soldier and Baron Zemo went to go visit, and it was all about them working for the Power Broker. Us figuring out who was the Power Broker, we started having all these type of theories and who it could be, and it was Sharon Carter, the same one from Civil War who felt abandoned because after that happened and then everybody got snapped, she was already on the run. What am I supposed to do? So she ends up in Madripoor building a small empire. And that was quite impressive. And that was a real unique twist because now we're kind of like, what could happen? Where could she pop up next? You almost don't know. And what her impact is going to be because, again, she has so much access, right? So that's number 25, starting off right with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Number 24. Number 24 is kind of a big moment. Comes from the Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home, it's Spider-Man fighting the Green Goblin. And man, this scene it was super awesome. If you've seen it, otherwise you would have left it the spoiler runner, right? I mean, I think when you compare it, right, because we got to see Tom Holland fight the Green Goblin this time, so that version of Spider-Man. And a lot of people are like, well, look, Tom Holland can't be as strong as the Tobey Maguire version because look at the damage, look at the punching in the face. But I think it's kind of understood, and if it's not, so be it. They specifically ramped up the Green Goblin character for this time around to make him more menacing, and I think they did a phenomenal job with that. William Dafoe's character was crazy. It was crazy the first time we saw him in the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and it was even better this time around, right? So that's number 24, and that led to a death, right? So we led to the death of Aunt May, and it's almost like we kind of knew something like this would come, but it almost flips out of your mind, right? Because we know Uncle Ben dies, but the MCU storytelling, we haven't seen Uncle Ben. We just know he's got to exist somewhere, right? We even heard the mention of him in What If, in an alternate reality, but in this reality, we haven't really heard of Uncle Ben from Tom Holland, but we see Aunt May, Marissa Tomei's character, right? She gave with great power comes great responsibility line in her death, right? So how does that propel Peter going forward? It's going to be a good question. And we're going to get a quick sip of a little bit of coffee, or if you guys got water or juice or whatever you have, out of my Hall Preezy cup here. That's awesome. Hall Preezy universe. Doesn't get better than that. All right, so number 23, we're back at Falcon and the Winter Soldier for another entry, and this is Isaiah Bradley. And this is another layer to the Captain America. It's almost like a saga, right? Because we know if Captain America Steve Rogers. We knew that. We found that out in his first movie. We see there's other super soldier experiments throughout the years, right? The Incredible Hulk movie shows that with the creation of Abomination, because that's where it seemed like it started from, giving him a serum. In the Captain America movie, Red Skull, Germany's version, Black Widow, a movie we got this year shows us Red Guardian. There have been several super soldiers throughout the years, but the one we really didn't see coming was Isaiah Bradley, right? And he took so many real life excerpts to give kind of some history at the same time, keep Marvel grounded in a real life sense. And it was awesome to really see, but at the same time, I was like, man, it really shows like that Falcon's going to have a real decision to make, because it's not just I'll put on the mantle, I'll be Cap, but like the weight of being Cap. Not everybody's going to accept you. And it is based on color of skin. People will see you and go, no. And the show kind of details that throughout, even in some subtle ways and in some less subtle ways. But we get the Isaiah Bradley story. He even references the Tuskegee Airmen. So we also see his I believe it was his grandson who later becomes the Patriot. But that was his whole story, every time he seemingly got on screen, it was almost like polarizing in a sense that he had so much passion, especially the first time we meet him, where the Winter Soldier knows of him. Steve Rogers, no slight to him, he doesn't know. He was on ice, literally, right? So Falcon's introduced. Bucky's kind of doing it so Falcon can get his head about himself. And it almost like doesn't work, but it does work over time. Things for Falcon to think about. But the Isaiah Bradley story was crazy to see on screen, and that DisneyPlus was able to pull it off the way they pulled it off, without diverting any story, but adding to it was phenomenal. Absolutely well done. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of Isaiah Bradley. And are we going to see his grandson turn out to be the Patriot with the Young Avengers? Since they're kind of setting that up, they're giving all these Young Avengers, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. So that's number 23. Whew. Right? So now what are we coming up to? Number 22. Okay. Number 22. We have the Eternals, DC name dropping, right? So Phasos has a son in the movie, and his son is seeing Icarus, and they've had some sort of interaction to where they say, is he like he basically name drops Superman. He literally does this, which lets us know in the MCU, DC exists, and that wasn't the only name drop in that movie, but saying Superman in that was huge, right? So when Phasos' son says that lets us know DC exists in the MCU. Maybe as a comic book to them, right? Like that's what they look at as comics, because in their version of life, they are all real, right? So that's just an interesting perspective. Just like we know Disney exists. Disney exists in the MCU. We saw that in Hawkeye. There was a Disney store. So, advertising, right? So let's go ahead and cross that off the list, all right? Number 21. 21 also comes back from the Eternals. We go back to the end credit scene, and what do we get? So we see Kit Harington's character playing the Black Knight, who we have not seen yet in the MCU as far as full dress, getting ready to grab the Ebony Blade. And as he's about to do it, we hear Mahershala Ali say something to him like, you're not ready or whatever. And we know that's Blade, right? So now we know we have another layer to the supernatural within MCU. We already have witches. We know witches exist. We're not sure about mutants yet, even though, I mean, we got to know they're coming. But that's just another, we know vampires exist. That was mentioned by the TVA. So, again, Black Knight mixing in with Blade at the end, I had to put that at number 20. All right. Number 20, or that was 21. Number 20, Yelena has our sights set on Hawkeye. At the end of Black Widow movie, we get an end credit scene with Madame Fontaine, Allegra, yada, 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 right? Now, why is this scene important? Because at that time, we don't know how it plays out. Hawkeye series elaborates on that even further. So if you've seen it, you should have seen it because you should have left it the spoiler if you didn't. But we get to, like, now at that time, we knew a Hawkeye series was coming. Yelena Belova has her next target, and it's Hawkeye. He's in his Ronin suit. So her seeing that picture, being told by Madame Allegra Fontaine that this is the person responsible for your sister's death, our minds were going, right? So I had to give him the number 20 spot. I had to. Now, funny we talk about Hawkeye because number 19, we get Kingpin. We get Kingpin's reveal finally. After all this time, episode 5, you heard the big guy, you seen the fat man. You've seen all these different advocates for Kingpin, but we didn't see Kingpin. There was even are we going to see him in the series? I'm pretty sure we will. When will we see him? And when we get him, keep these dates in mind. Hawkeye comes out Wednesday, right? Thursday evening, Friday, December 17th, Spider-Man drops. The episode that drops on Wednesday of Hawkeye reveals Kingpin. And this Kingpin is played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who was the same one who played him in the Netflix series. Marvel is so strategic. So episode 5 drops, last second thing, we see that, and boom, we go into Spider-Man No Way Home 2 days later, and it's just pandemonium, right? So let's cross out number 19, right? So with number 19 out of the way, we got to go into number 18, which is the meme, the Baron Zemo dance. It became a GIF. Like, you can Google Baron Zemo dancing. That's straight out of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? Baron Zemo is just this funny moment, right, where they're in the club and they don't have disguises, but they're in disguises. Well, Falcon was in disguises, but it's just this funny moment, and it kind of caught fire throughout the country, where it became this meme. So the Baron Zemo dancing meme. Again, you got the villain MCU making it heartfelt to us, to where we're like, these are real people to a degree. They're not just maniacal. No. This dude's in the club getting it, right? So you have Baron Zemo dancing, and that's the number 18 spot. So we're gonna cross that off the list because we don't want any repeats, right? Now, number 17. You notice we're getting to the thick of things. It's getting better and better. What could be number 17? Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm a good lawyer. The moment we've been waiting for. Matthew Murdock has now entered the MCU. Charlie Cox playing the same character. Now remember, Wednesday, the Hawkeye episode showing Vincent D'Onofrio playing Kingpin. And then Friday, Spider-Man No Way Home drops. Peter Parker needs a lawyer. Charlie Cox from the Netflix series, right? And you see how that's all this major setup. You got the Echo series coming. I mean, it was just right there. But we've seen this type of thing before, where somebody might play somebody from somebody, or somebody might play somebody that is somebody that you knew from before that's not that person currently. We'll get into that later. But How do we know that that's Daredevil just because it's Charlie Cox? He's playing a lawyer. Wouldn't it be funny if the brick comes through the window and before Peter can catch the brick, the blind guy catches it? I'm just going to have... What Peter says, how did you do that? This is the man with a spider sense. How did you do that? I'm a good lawyer. So we have the introduction of Daredevil into the MCU. Huge moment. But let's continue moving down this list, right? Let's scratch that off. So if you're following along, scratch that off, okay? Number 16. Let's go back to Shang-Chi. Let's go to that end credit scene. And you know what's at stake here? You got Shang-Chi, and he meets up with Wong through Wong's portal, Sorcerer Supreme by technicality. And you got Captain Marvel and Dr. Banner. Not Smart Hulk, Dr. Banner, arm in a sling. He got his joint arm in a sling. And they're trying to study the rings. Now, keep this in mind. You got one of the smartest scientists on Earth, right? He don't know what they are. They say, okay, check this out. We have Captain Marvel here. She represents space and places out there. She don't know. Well, check this out. We got Wong. Wong can go to his codex of magical stuff. They ain't got no registry. They have no registry for it either. So where are these rings from? My guess, because they're a beacon. They're calling to something. They're like, well, to what? To whom? We'll have to find out. But that's a major moment. I'm going to say Kang. Because it's the future, right? So therefore, none of these people will be able to say why they don't know it, because they don't know it because it hasn't been made yet. That's my guess. Let's see if I'm right. When all that stuff drops. Number 15. With number 15, you see we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Major moment is the passing of the torch. Kind of saw this a little bit in Endgame, but you get the full feeling. It fleshed out. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon actually becomes Captain America. He is Captain America. So how do you refer to him with Steve Rogers? Well, Steve Rogers is now Steve Rogers. And Captain America is Captain America, who was formerly known as Falcon. Major moment when he comes through with the suit, because also remember, he has no super serum at all. And when he breaks through the glass, he has to fight Batroc, the Leaper again. Well, that turns out he gets killed by Power Broker and the Secret, but him having to withstand from the Flag Smashers, and let's see him in some action. What can he do? Because remember, he's got vibranium wings or a vibranium flight set, right? Because his outfit doesn't appear to be vibranium, but the wings do. And him having red wing, it seems like a little bit more techier, because even when he stops the truck and he's able to dispatch multiple Red Wings. We saw in Civil War, he used one Red Wing, and he was like, oh, his name is Red Wing, and Natasha Romanoff was not feeling that, right? But here we see several, and they're able to sustain the weight of the truck and keep it from crashing down, right? This whole battle, this whole final Falcon he is Captain America. I don't want to hear, it's always Falcon, it's Captain America. If you say Steve Rogers, then that's how we make our differences, right? As Falcon becomes Cap, and now he's Captain America. We also see that what's crazy about that scene is the transformation of former Captain America, U.S. agent, right? So it's a crazy time for all that to be happening, because it's all in one battle. And, U.S. agent had his own shield. He was so hell-bent on doing certain things. And yet, when he sees Captain America doing what he's doing, saving people, it kind of like, okay, I see this. He's kind of a worthy successor, and I can do my own thing. And later he's greeted by Madame Fontaine, Allegra, yada, 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 right? And he gets an opportunity to do those things, and we're yet to see those things flesh out onto screen. So that's going to be awesome when we see that. But in the number 15 spot, I have to put Captain America becoming Captain America, the mantle being passed. Saw it in Endgame. the shield. Oh, it feels kind of heavy. It feels like it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me, right? He said all that, you know what I mean, yada, yada, yada. But now we actually see him. He's wearing it. He's the Captain America, man, period, point blank. No other way to put it. And number 14, let's go to the What If series, right? The What If series brings us Marvel Zombies. And man, awesome. But what was a major moment was in the Marvel Zombies, the zombie killing Peter Parker, and he's got Ant-Man with him, and they're flying to Wakanda to keep that Mind Stone safe. There's been sacrifices. We've seen the Hulk have to go against Wanda. We've seen the Winter Soldier. All these people, we've seen the Wasp. All these people sacrifice themselves for the good. So they are down to the bare minimum. It's Black Panther who is lost limbs, from everything that's been going on with Wanda being a zombie and eating and what Vision did. And so now here they go to Wakanda with Black Panther, Ant-Man, who's just the head, just a floating head. But he's got the cape, I guess, kind of, sort of, speaking, right? And you got zombie-killing Spider-Man. And Thanos is already there with 5 stones, with five of them things, right? So that was like, oh my goodness, how did he get infected? What does that mean for the oncoming? What does that mean for humanity? A lot of questions. Is Wakanda already completely turned? Or are they still battling? It's just that we don't know. But Zombie Thanos has 5 stones. And you can rest assured that that's a problem. So let's cross that off the list, okay? Make sure you get number 14 up out of there. Now, down to the lucky 13. Let's see if number 13 is so lucky. Let's go, let's revisit Falcon and the Winter Soldier, please. And let's give props to where props are due. The Dora Milaje. Beating the brakes off of that time the Captain America and his sidekick, holding down Falcon and disarming the Winter Soldier, literally. And they're not even super soldiers. That was the words of the Captain America, a.k.a. U.S. agent, at that time. I mean, he was disbelieved. He tried to play those girls. He thought, because he was who he was going to pat him on the... Man, Falcon tried to tell him. Baron Zemo zipped out the side. I'm out. So that was a moment in and of itself to see the type of fighting skill. These are skilled. Remember, Falcon, awesome fighter, right? They weren't beating him up, but they was hand to hand with him. Winter Soldier disarmed. Nah, buddy, we're not doing this. Cap. They can't even call him Cap in reference to that U.S. agent. You just got to give him that look. But the Dora Milaje, they get all props. Props where props due. Awesome fight scene. Please revisit it if you have not seen it. Awesome. But that's number 13. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty, right? Cross that off your list as such, right? Now we're down to 12. What could be number 12? Well, number 12, we got to go to the Loki series. And number 12 goes to Classic Loki. Classic Loki and his powers. And what he was able to do to offset Goliath as he created this giant spectacle. And some things he said about his abilities being able... I mean, he was able to create an illusion so strong, it tricked the Mad Titan himself. So we know in ours, Loki was snapped. We're assuming that was a real thing, but it raised the question, was Loki projecting an illusion so strong that it tricked the Mad Titan himself? And Loki never died? Something that Marvel can always revisit. They threw that out there. But man, when you saw in the classic outfit, the 2 horns, the green and the yellow, I mean, my man was getting it. Which lets you know every universe is real. What do I mean by that comment? Every comic, because in those episodes, we saw the Thanos copter, right? And we just have to go through it. The Thanos copter never happened, but it happened in the comics. I mean, Thanos actually was arrested in the comics. Thanos was literally, you know what I'm saying? It was back at a time when, so that lets you know everything was, and it ended up here getting. So there's a universe where, but again, we got to see classic Loki putting on a masterful illusion, right? That's number 12. We got to do it. It had people talking, all right? Now, cross it off your list because we don't want no repeats. So for number 11, right? We're almost in it. We're about to crack the top 10, but almost. Let's see what just. I'm gonna kind of do this in two parts, right? We're gonna go to WandaVision, and with WandaVision, we're gonna do this like this, right? You have WandaVision's final battle, right? Crazy, and I'm saying that because you have Vision, the original body that we saw her. I can't feel you. Right? She couldn't. Right? That Vision coming back. He started choking the life out of her. Her Vision that she created coming. So you got the Vision versus Vision. You got Wanda versus Agatha. Right? So you have Sword and Tyler Hayward trying to do all this stuff, and then you have Wanda's kids and Monica Rambeau holding them off, and we get to see a little bit of Monica's phasing powers. We get to see Wiccan and Speed, them doing their thing. I mean, it's a lot going on. I mean, Vision and Vision, White Vision and Colored Vision, going at it head to head. Mind Stone, but he's not really real versus this guy with the blue chip. Maybe it's an arc react. No, well, definitely not an arc reactor, but maybe it's some sort of Stark-based tech, like, Hammer Industries or something. We do have Armor Wars coming. So, but that being said, though, that whole fight scene, and it's kind of led into from a previous episode where Agatha Harkness gets to say, "You are the Scarlet Witch," and that is a huge moment because tying in, it just led in like the next episode, the final episode picked up right from that moment. They weren't able to really say that before. You know what I mean? And now it lets you know there's a supernatural. I mean, we already knew there was supernatural, right? We have Doctor Strange, but there's witches, and there's witches. There could be vampires, and we know there's Blade, and we heard the TVA say something about vampires. So it's just opening that door because they never said she was immune. They never said that, right? So, but that whole final. I mean, you might as well count the episode. You might as well count the episode. I mean, it might as well just be the whole episode. That whole final battle leading into Wanda getting her Scarlet Witch outfit, reading the Dark Hold. That's the number 11. But because it was so much, right? It's like, I'm gonna just put you at number 11 because a lot of that's not like just a moment. That's like a whole collection of things to make that happen. And that's how WandaVision felt. Like, it really felt like a movie. So if you get a chance, go back on DisneyPlus, check it out. By all means, refresh the memory, get the gears rolling, see if you can find out what happened to that dude in the sewer. You know what I mean? Where do you think he's going to pop up next, if he ever pops back up? But that was number 11, man. Truly a major mind-blowing moment for the MCU. We are now down to the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. We are down to the top 10. Let's get it. Number 10. Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, fight. This is so crazy. It's so crazy you can't even. This let us see another side of Spider-Man and his abilities that answers a question that we didn't even know we had. So, Spider-Man, we saw it in the trailer. He gets his soul punched. He got Tyrone Woodley right out of his body. Bow. Easy. Doctor Strange had no problem doing it. Now he can retrieve his box. Right? Easy day. No, it's not. Spider sense is in full effect. My man can't catch it. And he was like, how are you doing? Doctor Strange, a master surgeon, right, who is also, at one point, was the Sorcerer Supreme, and we'll probably take that title back due to the fact of the technicality of the snap. He can't figure out why your body. We've seen this happen to the Hulk. We've seen this happen to him, right? And it was explained to him by the Ancient One. So the fact that this guy is, I think he's conscious, but I see his astral projection. That is crazy. Crazy moment. Great comedy moment for the movie Spider-Man No Way Home. But it was just an awesome moment. So that's number 10. We got to put that in. It's in there. It's in there, right? Write that down. Now let's jump into number 9. Number 9, we're going to go back to the What If series. And we're going to go to something that I never thought physically possible, which then opens the question of, could this been done the whole time? Vision, or Ultron, but it's Ultron Vision, right? He's got Vision's body. He was able to accomplish that by creating Vision's body. He was never stopped by the Avengers. So he has the Mind Stone. And Thanos comes through. 5 stones. Ultron was not really aware of these other stones, apparently. But when he sees it, he's like, interesting. He used the Mind Stone, as we saw with Vision in Civil War and several other times in Infinity War as well. And he used the Mind Stone to cast a beam. But the beam that Ultron casts is so strong, it cuts Thanos in half. Perfectly balanced. He splits him in half, uses the stone, cuts through the gauntlet, takes the stones, puts them into him, and he becomes this ultimate force, the Infinity Ultron, Ultron Infinity, Infinity Ultron, Ultron Gauntlet, Ultronlet. I don't know what you want to call the man, or the being, or the creature, or the machine, or whatever. But the fact that Thanos could be that easily, it's not easy. You have to have Infinity Stone. But the way he used it, because again, Vision has much more of a conscience for good, as to where Ultron does not. He's trying to decimate. He's trying to accomplish his goal. So I could see that being the issue, where Vision wouldn't do that, because he's not just going to kill like that to, so maybe that was the complex. But could Vision have done that in Wakanda? Listen, Wanda, listen, y'all move. We're not, he didn't even have to cut him in half perfectly balanced. It wouldn't have mattered to us. He could have, who cares, right? Number 9 moment, Ultron splitting Thanos into 2. Number 8. We got to go to the Loki series on this. TVA pruning Loki and Loki meeting the variants. What are you talking? Kid Loki. Alligator Loki. There was a black Loki. I don't know how they did African Americans, or if he was just African, or if he just whatever. But there's different versions of Loki, which then lead us to more variants where some look like him and some don't. But when him and Sylvie, they just met the head of the TVA. Find out there were androids, but like whatever. We were like, oh my. And then Loki gets pruned. It should have been Sylvie. But it wasn't. It was Loki. Oh, well, Sylvie is Loki, so she doesn't like that name, but whatever. Boom. Right? That happens. That's real life. Happened. Well, it's MCU life. But what happens with that showed us. He said, am I dead? And the dude answered him. We saw classic Loki. It was just that moment with those 4 variants was major. Had people talk we got alligator Loki. I guess he resides in Florida. So, can we get lucky on number 7? What's lucky number 7? I'm going to tell you what lucky number 7 is. Along. This became a major song, period, in pop culture. Like this it generated off of DisneyPlus. People were Agatha, which also pushed into more viewership, which is why WandaVision did so extremely well. Every aspect of the show, from Kathy Hahn, like, she did an amazing job. And let's not forget, WandaVision won Emmys, like best production design, outstanding production. They won Emmys. WandaVision won Emmys for outstanding production design. I mean, that was Marvel's first Emmy. I don't even know if they were trying to win Emmys. I mean, honestly, like it just wasn't a thing like that. So this catapulted them to it won MTV Award. It just pop culture took to it. And Agatha all along. It was big. It was big. So huge moment for the MCU. What could number 6 be? Let's go back to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Let's go back to the man we didn't like. Remember that guy we said looked like the old dude from the movie Up? Remember that dude? We didn't like him. We're like, this is a bad casting. This is...
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
He was ready to kill that flag smasher with Cap shield. Everything turned. Everything turned. The person, I don't like him. I don't like his casting. Oh, he's got all that extra stuff went out the window. And we were like, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. No, he didn't. He didn't just do that. He did not just, you remember that face was, my man was, if you ever had to get a Switch as a child, for those little up in age, yeah, you was getting one of them, except with so it was up. It was definitely a moment of, oh my goodness. And it actually changed the character in a way where people connected to that. To now they're like, now I don't like it. It painted that. I don't like him. Well, Falcon better get that Winter Soldier, but they better get that dude violated, right? That was the emotion we had when that happened. He violated Cap's shield. Nobody, come on, man. Come on, man. Thanos violated the shield once, and he gave that shield to Falcon. When he got it refixed, refurbished, redone from the past, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And now he got blood on the shield? Oh, man. Whose man is this? Whose man is this? A moment of silence for this flag smash. All right. So we're going to scratch that off the list. You know what I'm saying? Now we in the top 5. So how we gonna go into the top 5? We're gonna let Loki bring us there. The whole praise the universe, right? So Loki and Sylvie finally beat Goliath. They finally get to the Citadel at the end of time. And they're greeted by Miss Minutes and all that. But then we meet He Who Remains. And He Who Remains is Jonathan Majors. Okay, I see you. I've gone by many names. He explains his existence and how time loops, and he kind of lets us know how the multiverse works a little bit. And Loki is like, I can get anything from this guy, and this guy's telling him, like, I'll give you whatever. And Sylvie kills him. Sylvie kills him on screen, sending the timelines warped. Because one thing He Who Remains said is, you don't want to see my other variants. You don't want to meet them. But by killing him, it opens the door, because in his universe, in the year 3000, he meets the other himself by doing some experiments, the multiverse. They helped each other, then some of them wanted to not help each other. He goes to a multiversal war kind of deal, and it just opens the door. Now, some things we do know. The villain of Ant-Man 3 Quantumanium is Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors. So this was a version of himself. We haven't seen and Jonathan Majors was brilliant. He was brilliant. So I can't wait to see that. But Yeah, he has to steal that number 5 spot. He just decimated reality. Loki came back to the TVA. And when Loki comes back, Mobius don't even know who he is because he's in a different reality, seemingly. Statues are of Kang. Bum, bum, bum. So now it's up. Let's go ahead and cross number 5 out. Let's cross number 5 out. We almost there, peoples. So you got Mobius, who's like, I don't recognize this guy because it's Kang, because it's the next, right? So moving forward, and that's gonna be a crazy one. Ant-Man 3 and the Quantum Man, it's gonna be a crazy one. So go ahead and cross that off your list. Now we're down to number 4. We're down to the nitty gritties, people. But what could take the number 4 spot? And the number 4 spot, we have the introduction of Peter Parkers, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. We get to see Ned conjuring. Thank you, Spider-Man. No Way Home. You finally blessed us with a scene that gives us, oh man, we're going to see him. Oh man, we're going to see him. We see him in the MCU. We see him in the MCU. Who are those hims? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Bam. Magic moment. They even have a little, wait, what? When they see it, so they even have a back and forth where you and Tobey Maguire kind of best Andrew where he hit him in his web cartridge. And Andrew kind of nods, right? So they understand who they are. So now we got Peter Parkers in the same movie where our Peter Parker and oh man, right? So let's cross that off the list. Number 4, the introduction to Peter Parkers in the same place at the same time, right? So awesome moment. Number 3, Venom enters the MCU. Very close between the Peter Parkers, but here's one of the things that was kind of a separating factor. Venom is in the Sonyverse. Venom's movies, Sony was not having nothing to do with the MCU until all of a sudden a shakeup happens. And mind you, this movie comes out after Loki, so we're thinking it's the Loki thing that set this up. But we come to find out it was Spider-Man No Way Home happening at this moment where it shakes up. And Venom is revealing to Eddie Brock, he's got all this knowledge from across different multiverses. And bam, Venom gets sucked out through the spell, put into the MCU, and he sees Spider-Man on the TV being told that Spider-Man wanted, right? And he licks the screen. That lets us know that hive knowledge that he just talked about. No matter what symbiote it happens to, it's all stored. All the symbiotes would have it. They would know that. And that's how he was selected to come into that universe. When the spell is cast, for those that know Peter, come on down. They did a Price is Right, right? And Venom's price was right. So, and we should have kind of knew this a little bit with the MCU and the Hasbro toy line. Only Venom got to figure. But all that stuff aside, we got to see Sonyverse, and we got to see Venom in the MCU in a film. And then he was sent back. But at that time, man. Let's cross that off your list. We're down to the top 2, people. What's it going to be? Well, I'll give you number 2. Let's see if you remember. Two people arguing. Someone goes to check the door. It's WandaVision. It's WandaVision, and when she opens the door, who is standing there? It's her brother Pietro. Now, we know Pietro from Age of Ultron. This is not him, because we know he's the Quicksilver. This is Fox's X-Men's Quicksilver as Pietro. He's been recast. Why did they recast Pietro? She recast, what'd she say? She recast. So Darcy says she recast Pietro, right? Kate Dennings did phenomenal job. That whole, and all of a sudden we're in awe. We don't, jaws drop to the floor because it's not Aaron Tyler Johnson. It's Evan Peters, and the confusion and the multiverse is now here. And so we think, but so we know, but so we right? And it was just this huge deal. Man, you were amped. You couldn't wait to that next episode. But what could be number one? It seems like this multiverse stuff was like in the top everything, because now we're at number one. And number one, Spider-Man No Way Home. All the Spider-Mans working together. They're at the new Statue of Liberty. They are getting down. They even give us the complete superhero pose at the top. They're moving, and next thing you know, they're swinging into action. It was tremendous. I mean, we even saw they couldn't even work well together at first. I was with the Avengers. Oh, what's that, like a band? It was just so awesome to see Tom and Toby and Andrew, all, no matter what generation of Spider-Man you had, the Amazing Spider-Man, the 1, 2, 3, or the 1, 2 MCU version, like it was now all together, and they were working together, fighting, making corpse, and then Tom Holland goes over the edge. And Andrew, well, actually, MJ went over the edge. Andrew saved her. But when Tom Holland's about to go over the edge and kill the Green Goblin, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the old man Spider-Man essentially, right? Old man Peter essentially, right? Saves him, stops, gets stabbed. I've been stabbed before. You know, like that. It was the whole package of that deal, man, and how that movie kept that so under wraps, but yet it was out in the open, but you couldn't believe it because you didn't know. And the actors and it just worked well, man. So that was the top 25 moments of 2021. I hope you enjoyed it. What were your moments? Please put them down in the comments below. But let's talk about that giveaway. At 2,000 subscribers, we're going to go ahead and give away. We are going to, it's like a raffle essentially, right? We are going to give away a replica Stormbreaker, right? Now, how do I get into this? How do I get my name involved? Well, let's click the subscribe button. That's step one. Once you click the subscribe button, like and comment on the videos, and you will automatically just be entered. And that's how it's going to work until we get to 2,000 subscribers. Once we hit it, we're giving that thing away. This way, we're giving back. So at 2,000 subscribers, we're going to go ahead and give away Stormbreaker, and it's going to be awesome. I hope to hit it soon. So go ahead. If you know somebody, share the videos, share the links, get us out and about. You know, because the faster we get to that, the faster we get to the giveaway. Then we move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And, man, we got some awesome stuff planned. So, again, Stormbreaker, once we hit 2,000 subscribers, free giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed, click the like, and leave a comment. Once you do those things, your name is automatically entered. All right? So go ahead, like and comment all the videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.